Hello and welcome to this little addendum video because there are some things that I forgot to mention in the tutorial that were kind of important. Now, of course, there's all sorts of other things I didn't mention in the tutorial, like how to fish and how to ride Pokemon. Those things I was planning on just kind of covering when those come up in the actual game because they're pretty straightforward, actually. But today, I wanted to go over a couple other things that are very important to kind of know from the get go. So why don't we go and take a little looky see over here? Weapons. I completely forgot about weapons in the tutorial, which is big sag. So there are four kinds of weapons. So of course, okay. So if you want to give a player, say, a little combat knife or a scimitar or whatever it may be, really, you just give them that weapon and then you pick which of these four categories it is. Is it a large melee, small melee, short range weapon, or a long range weapon? So all weapons really dumb down to this. So large melee weapons. So okay. Beans. I should have pulled up a character sheet. Let me see here. Let's see here. Who do I want to pull up? Let's pull up, for example, whoever this suggests. All right, cool. All right, yeah. So we got here's the sheet here. So if we go over to the combat page, you'll notice that there's a spot for main hand and offhand. You'll also see that there's this spot for damage based and accuracy check mods. So in a nutshell, they so a your fists are kind of your default equipped weapon, and there's basically this is kind of considered a struggle attack. Yeah, this is your main hand struggle. This is your offhand struggle, essentially. Um, and by default, struggle has damage base 4 and AC of 4. So what having, say in this case, a small melee weapon would do is it would raise the damage base by 1. So you come in here and you would put 1 into here, and then this would become damage base 5. Simple as that. Now, of course, like a super special weapon of some sort could have the GM might say this one will increase your damage base by 4 because it's like this extremely legendary weapon or something like that. So this sheet here isn't a ride or die type thing. I mean, it even says hey, you could make up foot weapons if you really wanted to. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's just whatever it's just kind of whatever. Improvised weapons are also a thing. So maybe sometimes if they throw an item, it will take -1 penalty to AC because it wasn't meant to be thrown. You wouldn't want to do that to a throwing star, of course. But though, or perhaps lower the damage by 1. Hitting with a pillow might be a damage base 1 attack, for example, right? So so improvised weapons are a whole thing. Learning weapon moves. So weapon moves are also a thing. So like I said, by default, it just has struggle, and that struggle is modified. Its damage base and accuracy check are modified depending on what class of weapon it is, or if it's a special weapon that you want to add some stuff on to. But though you let's say you wanted to use the weapon for things other than just struggle, right? So there are all these different weapon moves, right? And here, for example, there are some weapon suggestions. These are not ride or die. These are just hey, here's what kind of weapons this move makes sense with, right? because there's going to be some weapon that you might have, like a laser gun. What does that go under, huh? What is that? It's just like, or maybe a lightsaber. How do you classify a lightsaber? There's like again, like these are here to be like, these are the types of weapons. These are the kind of the archetypes of weapons that would have that move. They're not ride or die. But as you can see, these are just moves. These are moves. They do not get modified by the damage base modifier. I don't. Let me know. Oh, you do. Never mind. You do apply your modifiers from the weapon to the move. You do apply them to the move, right? So basically, so do note that like, even though there's a damage base 7, if you give them something that increases it by 2 more, it's going to be damage base 9. So which makes these AC modifiers really weird. All right. The way that you learn these weapon moves. So there's 2 different categories of weapon moves. You have adept weapon moves and you have master weapon moves. These correlate to the combat skill. If you have adept combat, you get an adept combat. You get an adept weapon move. If you have expert combat, you get. If you have a master. If you get up to master combat, you'll then learn a master weapon move. Really, you should just be getting one move per per skill level per weapon, right? So what I mean by that is, if you give someone a woodcutter's axe, that woodcutter's axe will have associated with it some damage based modifier, an accuracy check modifier, as well as its adept weapon move and its and its associated master weapon move. So basically, you get one adept weapon move and one master weapon move that gets associated with that weapon. Now, that you could make that ride or die, but you could also, like, it's really, as a little game master tip here, really it should be based off of kind of their skill set, right? Like it should match with the character, right? If they're more of a barbarian type, run and gun, whatever, like it might make sense that like you give them bash as opposed to giving them like some other like or as opposed to like wounding strike, right? It should make sense it should make sense. So basically what I'm saying is the move you give should make sense with the weapon, but should also make sense with the character that's wielding it. So that doesn't per se mean that you give this weapon over to someone else and if they have the correct combat level, they'll get the same move per se. It doesn't have to be that way. So yeah, that's weapons. All right. Pokemon have it the same way, by the way. It will work the same if you give Pikachu a gun. That is an option, by the way. Now, how able they will be to use a gun without prior training, probably not. Probably would have to do some big skill checks with some big disadvantages, whatever. But that's beside the point. All right, moving on. Training. This is so big, I cannot imagine why on earth I'd managed to neglect talking about this one. Holy smokes, training Pokemon. Once per day, you get to train your Pokemon. So think about it, right? Like, it makes sense that you and your Pokemon, from a role-playing perspective, would do some training together, and spend time gaining experience outside of just battle, right? Now, in order to like theoretically, and from a role playing perspective, you could just spend a whole day on that in game, but that would be a little bit bonkers and unfair. Um, and so like because then it's not very earned. Yeah, but anyways, this is an extended action spending an hour, so it takes 1 hour of in-game time training your Pokemon. Um, this year will give some kind of experience bonus. The experience that is granted is equal to half of the trainer's level, plus, right? Wait, no, sorry, the Pokemon's level. Pokemon that have experience training applied to them gain experience equal to half their own. So it's the Pokemon's level. Sorry about that. They gain experience half to the Pokemon's level plus a bonus based off of the trainer's command rank, right? So that's right here. If you have a pathetic or untrained command, the Pokemon will get 0 for their bonus. Novice or adept, you get +5 to that training experience, and 10 for expert master, virtuoso 15. Now this might sound like, oh, I need to really pay attention to my command rank then and get that leveled up. Not per se. If you have someone like if someone in your party has a really good command rank, there is I forget if it's a feature or edge, but though I believe it's called training the reserves. That's the one I'm thinking of. That my point is there's some feature or edge that allows someone with a great command rank to go and help out and train other Pokemon. So and their bonuses would be applied. So it's so that way you don't have to like have all your players focus on getting their command rank up in order to get these little bonuses. And frankly, at the end of the day, they're very small bonuses anyways. But yeah, so now how many Pokemon can you train at once? That is also equal to your command rank. So whatever your command rank is, that is how many Pokemon you get to apply experience training to for that day. Easy clap. All right, and also when you do the training Pokemon, it's not just the experience they get. This is when training features get applied, right? So all those training features, so the bonuses that come from training features, the only way those get applied is through this training. And that means that only the Pokemon that get trained get the bonuses. So if you don't train, Captain Buddy that day, then Captain Buddy does not get the training feature bonuses. They will only get the trainer feature bonuses if that day they got trained by their trainer with that bonus. All right, so that's that there. Which I should also say that in those cases where you have another player training your Pokemon, that player's trainer features gets applied to them. So whoever is doing the training on that Pokemon, their training features are taken. Note that you can only do one trainer feature in general. Also, the max that you can train at a time is 6 in general. So no matter how high you get your command rank up, it is max of 6. All right, so that's that for you. Yeah, so now let's talk about tutor points. All right, tutor points are weird. Because it just feels kind of tacked on. I don't know. Anyways, tutor points are they're a little stat. Unfortunately, on my currently as of this recording, It is not presently a thing in this app, but I do have a little spot off to the side where it can go. So let's just come in here and just do a new Pokemon in general. So I have a spot in here, notes and extras, where you can like add in the your different notes, like, you know, this is how many tutor points I have. You could theoretically also put it in buffs if you really wanted to. I'm going to make a section for that. I'm going, like, there's going to be a spot for tutor points and Poke Edges, and we'll get to what a Poke Edge is in a moment. So that you can come in here and to add your Poke Edges notes or whatever you need. Tutor points. So there are specific features and stuff that, you know, will add a permanent buff to your Pokemon, and usually it will say, by spending these amount of tutor points, these you know, buffs, these features will get applied to this Pokemon. So that's one way that tutor points get used, is sometimes for a feature or edge that the trainer has that they need to use on the Pokemon. Oh, by the way, the amount of tutor points you get. So you get one. So start off with one, and then basically it's just every 5 levels plus 1. Every 5 levels plus 1, right? So because upon hatching, everyone starts off with a single precious tutor point, and then every 5 levels gain another. Simple as that. Start off with 1, every 5 levels gain another. Cool. All right, and then like, okay, yeah, like it. Oh yeah. TMs, features, or Poke Edges, right? So using a TM uses up a tutor point. You should probably note that. That's very important. So using a TM uses up a tutor point. Once used, a tutor point is lost forever. Most often, these features teach moves, but can be used to offer aspects to Pokemon. Yeah. All right, so that's what the tutor points are. So let's get into what these Poke Edges are, right? So you could oh wait, hold on. You could also gain tutor points through heart boosters, which are vitamins that grant 2 tutor points. So there are items that you can get that will give you tutor points. All right, so don't fear like, oh no, I use a TM, I can never get that back. My decisions, the impact. Yes, impact is softened a little bit because you can get these, but though it's not like you're going to be finding them in every single storefront. It's they're a commodity. All right, so now let's start talking about the Poke Edges. So you could also use a tutor point, or more. Some of these cost more than 1 tutor point. But basically, my point is you can use your tutor points to give your Pokemon Poke Edges. This is the only way that they can get their skills improved, so that's a big one. So you can take a Poke Edge to improve their skills. If evolution or a permanent effect would cause the skill rank to go beyond 6, this Poke Edge is refunded. Because remember, when they evolve, they will take the new skill blocks of their evolution. Right, and then those Poke Edges get applied on top of that. And in this specific scenario, when it goes beyond 6, they get refunded. Cool. All right. Note that some of these have different prerequisites, like their level or some kind of capability, special capability that they have. There's all sorts of different Poke Edges in here. There's capability ones as well. Yeah. Honestly, Poke Edges are pretty straightforward. It's like edges, but for Pokemon, and you have to spend tutor points to get them. All right, that is my addendum. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yes, thank you. Have a good day.